Do not adjust your screen. Do not change your settings. This video has been assimilated by the Scorpion Collective. Resistance is futile.
Hello Tarantula lovers, I'm Alex and you're watching Tarantula Haven. Today I don't have spider mail, but I've got scorpion mail. And the scorpion mail comes to me from none other than Richard at the Tarantula Collective. If you watch his videos, you may recall that a little while back he had purchased some Centruroides gracilis, which are commonly known as the Florida bark scorpion, because he wanted to start a communal. And his reason for it on that video he attributed to me because I have a little communal. I actually have two, and I have a male and a female in there, but they haven't produced anything. So when he purchased those scorpions, he didn't realize that two of those females were gravid. So a few days later, he ended up having one that had a bunch of babies on its back, and then not too long after that, he had another one that had a bunch of babies on its back. So he ended up with a surplus of scorpions, and he asked me if I wanted some, and since I only have two and mine haven't produced anything, I said yes. So yeah, I'm always willing to take, especially something that can live communally. So he decided that he wanted to send me some. So that's exactly what I got here today. And I've already opened the box. And the reason for that is because he was concerned that they made it here safely. It does get pretty hot here in Florida. It's going to be in the 90s. So he put a cooling pack in there. But sometimes putting a cooling pack in there can also be harmful if it gets too cool. So he wanted me to make sure that they were okay. And I wanted to make sure that they were okay. So I went ahead and opened the box. So surprise is a little bit ruined already. But I want to give you the feeling of the unboxing. So I'm going to go ahead and do the unboxing real quick. So let's take a look at what we have in here. On the very top, he has a little note for me that says, "Congratulations on my 10,000 subscribers." Yes, this just happened a couple days ago, and I was really excited about it. 10,000 is a milestone that I never thought I would ever reach, and every little milestone that you cross on YouTube kind of opens up more doors for you. So this is something that I've been kind of looking forward to for a little bit. I was kind of stuck at about 9.7K subscribers, and Richard gave me a shout out on his Facebook page, and he also gave me a shout out on his YouTube channel, and kind of helped me cross that hump, push things a little bit faster than they would normally occur. So I was creeping up there, but almost overnight with some of his help, I did get over that 10,000 hump. And there were a few other people, Amy at Pet Rock and Roll and Sidix at the Invert Kingdom, UK, they helped me out as well. So I really, really appreciate it, guys. I thank you so much for the love. And if I can help you out in the future, I sure will as well. So I appreciate that very, very much. So let's see what else is in here. On the top here, we got some stickers. I've got the Tarantula Collective sticker. I've been wanting one of those. And he also threw in the Scorpion Collective. He's taken up all the collectives. But yes, this applies to today's video. And I've been really wanting this one, and that is the Skull Gang sticker. So thank you so much, Richard, for the Skull Gang sticker. Now I got to get some plastic skulls to throw into some of my enclosures. And let's go ahead and open this up. Oh, and he threw in a face mask, Tarantula Collective face mask, and my big old head probably won't fit this, so I'll probably end up giving it to my daughter. And oh, that's heavy. Tarantula Collective pin, awesome! I can put that on my camera bag. That is very cool. Oh, I like that. That's nice. It's real heavy. All right, so that's some quality stuff there. All right, so let's see what we got in here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in here. All right, make sure there's nothing else in there. We're good to go. All right, so we should have 5 little scorpions here for us to unbox and put into this container right here. So I'm going to put the scorpions in this small Amec box right here. And the reason for that, I do want to keep them communally, at least with each other, but I'm not going to put them in with my adult scorpions because I worry that they may not recognize them as their own kind and will possibly eat them if they come across them. So until they get a little bit more size on them, I'm going to keep them separated, but I definitely want to group them all together. And like I said, I'm not sure if that's even something I need to worry about. I'll have to do more research, but I just feel more comfortable having them in this small hammock box until they get a little bit of size on them, and then I'll introduce them into the whole communal. And I do intend on putting them into a larger enclosure because they are very active, and from what I noticed from my adults is I see them out quite a bit, and unlike most of my other scorpions, they tend to hide pretty much all the time, and I only see them maybe out at night looking for food or something. But this species tends to be a little bit more active and a little bit more visible, so I want to enjoy them, and that's why I'd like to put them into a larger enclosure that's got more viewing space on it so that I can enjoy them a little bit better. Inside of the hammock box, I have some bioactive soil, and I've been experimenting with bioactive soil. I asked myself, what makes soil bioactive? And it's basically just soil, but it has some extra things in it, like isopods, which I put dwarf white isopods in there, and it also has springtails. And of course, with the mixture and everything, you start developing good aerobic bacteria, I believe is what it is. So that's kind of what I've been playing with. If you buy bioactive soil, say from the BioDude or something like that, it's already pre-mixed and it already has all that stuff in it, or you add some of that stuff in it, like the living things. But for the most part, it's already set up for you. But I'm kind of a DIY guy, so I like to mess around with stuff and see if I could do it before I go and buy something from someone that's already pre-made. Especially if it saves me money, because anything you can save here and there just kind of makes things a little bit easier on you and doesn't hurt as much on the pocketbook. So inside here, it's not really set up as a bioactive should be, but the soil is bioactive. I've got isopods in there, the little dwarf whites, and I've got some springtails, and I've got the mixture in there with a little bit of leaf litter and everything else. Now, one thing that I'm going to include, and I'm not putting cork bark in there, I'm actually putting pine bark. And the reason I'm choosing pine bark is because whenever I've been out in the woods here in Florida, and we used to play airsoft with my kids, and we used to build forts and things like that so we could hide behind, and oftentimes we would end up moving logs that have fallen from pines and making walls with them and things, or barricades, and sometimes the bark tends to slip off, especially if the wood is rotting, and every now and then we would get stung by scorpions because the scorpions like to hide in between the bark and the wood. So I've often found scorpions usually hiding in tight crevices when things are kind of bunched up together like that. So I figured if I set something up like that, they would really like that. It's worked so far. I've done that with my adults, and they always spend their time in between the slats, and then at night they come out on top, or sometimes during the day they crawl around on top of it. So I really like that setup. I don't want it to be a thing where they're uncomfortable, especially if I have a piece of cork bark in there and they're getting down and don't like being between the soil and the cork bark. I'd rather have them kind of sideways like that to where they can get in between the slats of the pine bark. And pine bark's easy to find. I just go out into the woods. You can literally peel it off of a living pine, or if you find a dead pine, you can peel it off a lot easier in bigger chunks. Now, what I've done here is I've placed it onto a cookie sheet and I've baked it in the oven for 20 minutes at 220 degrees. So that's usually kind of a recommended thing. I learned that from Aquarimax Pets. He takes wood from, outside, and he takes it inside and he bakes it, and some other people as well. And that seems to be the running thing. About 220 degrees, 20 minutes is all you need to kill off whatever's on here. And make sure that you gather it from someplace where you know that no pesticides or anything are being used. So if you go out in the woods, usually you're pretty safe on that. So here's the example of how I have my adult enclosure set up. Notice I've got the pine bark here. I've also got a piece of cork bark, but they never use it, so I just have it in there as something for them to climb on. But I may take it out and put more pine bark in there. But if you notice, the pine bark is usually in sheets like this, and when I pull those back, I will usually find them behind there, and I just saw one creep off. and that's where I'll usually find them, hanging out on the pine bark itself. And I rarely ever see them on the soil. They usually are on the pine bark. So I feel like they're more comfortable clinging to it like that, sideways. And the male just ran under here. So there he is. But yeah, that's usually where they'll seek refuge. And they will just blend in with pine bark. So that's why I prefer to have them set up that way. I just kind of put them sideways like this. And they crawl in between. And then I don't have to worry about them. They'll stay in between the slats, and then I'll see them crawling out on top and so on. But yeah, rarely do they get into the cork bark over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this set up. So I've got some leaf litter, and I'm going to take some of this. I'll break it up. Put it sideways like that. Make it smaller. And that probably should be enough, and I can use some of that as litter for the bottom there. And with scorpions, scorpions can actually drown, so I'm not going to put a water dish in there. I'm actually going to include some sphagnum moss. And I will keep that moist, and that'll help keep the springtails and the isopods alive. Plus, it'll be a water source for the scorpions. I'll just use my little wash bottle and go ahead and water the sphagnum moss. All right, now we're ready for scorpions. It's got this taped up pretty good. Pop that open, see what we got. Oh, there he is. The little guy right there. Come on, look at that. Whoop, there he goes. Jump right out. Okay, that's one. Comes number two. There he is. You okay, little buddy? Yep, we're all right. There you go. Comes number three. There he is. Crawled out on his own. comes number 4. Oh, there he is. Let's get that out of the way. There we go. And number 5. And there it is. All right. All right, so thank you so much, Richard, for the scorpions. I love them. I'll take good care of them. And thank you so much for the freebies, all the free stuff that you gave me. I really appreciate it. You didn't have to do that, but it's very much appreciated. And thank you again for helping me reach that milestone, at least speeding things up a little bit. That was very much appreciated as well. And I'll definitely have to return the favor on some of this stuff. I'll have to send you something nice as well. And speaking of 10,000, when I first started YouTube and started learning some stuff about it and everything, you know, at first I just thought that after you reached a certain point, YouTube started paying you and the pay got bigger as far as, you know, the more subscribers you had and the more views and all that kind of stuff, which in truth it kind of is, but I never realized that the money was not exactly all that great. And well, I guess I did know that getting into it. And I know that it really doesn't start paying off until you start getting way, way higher as far as subscribers are concerned. But I never imagined that I would reach 10,000 subscribers. So here I am at 10,000 subscribers. And I told myself that when I reach 10,000 subscribers, then I would think about maybe doing a Patreon, because I felt like asking for money from people when I didn't have that many subscribers was probably a little bit of a pipe dream. So now that I do have those 10,000 subscribers, I still feel awkward about it. I don't like asking people for money, but it does take time and effort to make these videos and to support, you know, everything that I have going on here and equipment and all that kind of stuff. So I guess I will consider it, and I have to start thinking about what kind of packages and what kind of things I can offer to make things attractive for you as far as Patreon is concerned. And if you feel like doing that and supporting the channel, then I really, really appreciate it. But because I have reached 10,000, I feel like that's a pretty major milestone. So I feel like I need to give something back. So I think this calls for some kind of giveaway. I need to do something special for my subscribers so that you can feel like it was worth your while to spend some time and watch my videos and so on. So look for that real soon. I plan on doing something so that I can give back to y'all. And that wraps it up for me today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you want to support this channel, I do have a Teespring store where I sell Tarantula Haven merchandise. Any of the proceeds from that merchandise will go directly to help grow and support this channel. Until next time, keep loving them tarantulas and your scorpions.